We see his image everywhere, right? We might even chant his name when we need a little bit of courage. But what if I told you that everything we think we know about Hanumanji, well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. That there are these incredible secrets hiding in plain sight, just waiting for us to see them.
I mean, think about it. Have you ever really stopped and asked yourself, why is he always covered in that bright orange or saffron color? It's not just for looks, oh no. There's a story of pure love behind it that'll just melt your heart. And what about that mace he's always holding, that gada? It's so much more than a weapon. It actually has a name, a divine origin story that links him directly to the preserver of the entire cosmos. And here's maybe the most unbelievable part. Did you know that for a huge chunk of his life, this all-powerful god had no idea how strong he was? Seriously, he was cursed to forget everything, living like a shadow of his real self, until one single moment changed the course of history.
So, together, right now, we're going to uncover 7 of these divine secrets. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll see Hanuman in a completely new light. This isn't just about stories from the past. It's about discovering the powerful personal journey of transformation that made him a legend.
So where do we start? Well, our journey doesn't begin with world-shaking power or epic battles. No, it starts with something much quieter, something much deeper. It starts with the very foundation of his being. Pure, unconditional, selfless love.
Okay, so picture this scene. Hanuman has just done the impossible. He's leaped across the entire ocean, he's found Mata Sita imprisoned in Lanka's Ashokvataka, and he's brought back the news that she's alive. The whole army is celebrating, Lord Ram finally has hope, but just think about Sita for a moment.
She's a prisoner. She doesn't have any jewels or fine clothes or treasures to give this hero who just saved her from total despair. So what does she do? She gives him the only thing she has. Right there, in the garden of her own prison, she plucks these fresh betel leaves, the pond leaves, and with her own hands weaves them into a garland for him. That simple, humble gift, born out of pure love and gratitude, became this eternal tradition. So every pond garland we see offered today, it's a continuation of that one beautiful moment.
And that brings us to secret number 2, and the real reason for his orange body. One day, Hanuman sees Mata Sita putting sindoor, that red powder, in her hair. He's curious, so he asks her why. And she explains, "Oh, I do this for the long life and well-being of my husband, Shri Ram." Well, a light bulb just goes off in Hanuman's head, and his logic is so beautiful, so simple. He thinks, wait a minute, if just a tiny pinch of this stuff can protect Lord Ram, then imagine what covering my entire body in it will do. That's gotta mean eternal protection for him. And in that moment of pure, innocent devotion, he does it. He covers himself from head to toe in sindoor. So that orange color isn't just paint, it's a walking, breathing symbol of his absolute all-in love for Ram.
So, with that foundation of love firmly in place, Hanuman was then given the tools he needed for his divine mission. These next secrets aren't just cool powers. They're the instruments and transformations he earned to fulfill his destiny.
Okay, so that mace. It's not just a mace. It has a name, Kaumodaki. And that name is a big deal because it's the exact same name as the divine, indestructible mace of Lord Vishnu himself. It was a gift to Hanuman, and it means something so important. It shows us that Hanuman isn't just a powerful devotee. He's seen as a direct embodiment of divine power, trusted to carry the very same weapon as the preserver of the universe.
And his power went way beyond the physical. After he delivered Ram's ring to Sita in Lanka, she was just so overwhelmed with gratitude and relief, she gave him a blessing that literally breaks the rules of time. She said, "You shall live as long as the name of Ram is spoken in this world." And there it is. That's the source of his immortality. It's this incredible belief that connects the ancient past to right now. Wherever the name of Ram is spoken, maybe even as you're listening to this, he is present.
But all these powers were about to be tested in the most insane way possible. During the war, this sorcerer king, Aihiravana, he kidnaps Ram and Lakshman and drags them down to the underworld to Patala Loka. His plan is to sacrifice them. Hanuman rushes to the rescue, but of course there's a trap. Aihiravana's life force isn't in his body. It's tied to 5 magical lamps, hidden in 5 completely different directions. And to defeat him, all 5 have to be put out at the exact same time. It's an impossible task for any one person.
So what does he do? This is where his divine nature just shines. To solve this impossible puzzle, Hanuman takes on this incredible 5-faced form, the Panchamukhi.
You have his own face looking east, the lion face of Narasimha looking south, the eagle of Garuda to the west, the boar of Varaha to the north, and the horse face of Hayagriva looking straight up. 5 faces, 5 directions, 1 being. In a single moment, with a single breath, he extinguishes all 5 flames at once and saves the day. This wasn't just some artist's idea. It was a brilliant, divine strategy on the battlefield.
But you know, the deepest secrets, the ones that really tell us who he is, aren't about the powers he was given. They're about the vulnerabilities he had to overcome and the incredible discipline he chose for himself. This is where his true character was forged.
And that brings us to his most human story. As a kid, Hanuman was unbelievably powerful, but also super mischievous. In one famous story, he looks up, sees the sun, thinks it's a giant ripe mango, and just flies up to eat it, throwing the whole cosmos into chaos. He was always causing these kinds of disruptions, so finally a group of sages put a curse on him, not to harm him, but to calm him down. The curse was this: he would completely forget about his divine powers. He wouldn't remember his own strength until somebody reminded him. So for years, this mighty warrior lived just unaware of what he was capable of. It was only on that critical night on the shores of the ocean, just before the leap to Lanka, that the wise bear king Jambavan sat him down and said, "Do you remember who you are?" And in that moment, the hero was reawakened.
And now, for the final secret. This is the source code for his unbelievable physical power. Hanuman is known as a Nishtika Brahmachari. That means he took a single, unbroken vow of celibacy, not just for a part of his life, but for his entire life, for all of eternity. And this wasn't a punishment or a restriction. It was a conscious choice. He chose to channel every ounce of his life force, all of his spiritual energy, towards one single goal: serving the divine.
And by preserving this vital energy, which is called Oja Shakti, his physical body was literally transformed. The scriptures say it became like Vajra, as strong, as pure, as indestructible as a diamond. This is the real secret behind his invulnerability. It's why the fires of Lanka couldn't burn him. It's why the vast ocean couldn't sink him. And it's why no weapon ever could truly harm him. His ultimate strength didn't come from a gift from the outside. It came from supreme discipline on the inside.
Okay, so now we have all 7 secrets on the table. We have the garland, the sindoor, the mace, immortality, the 5 faces, the forgotten curse, and the vow of celibacy. But what happens when we put it all together? What's the big picture here? What's the ultimate revelation?
Well, when you look closely at all of them, you start to realize something really profound. None of these secrets are really about miraculous powers or superhuman strength. They're all just reflections of his inner character. You see, his power isn't about what he can do. It's about who he is.
Let's just look at it this way. The Pan Garland, that's not a story about power, it's a story about love. The sindoor on his body, that's a story of pure devotion. His immortality is the result of a heartfelt blessing. The curse, that taught him humility, showing that even the greatest among us sometimes needs to be reminded of who they are. And his brahmacharya, that's the ultimate story of discipline. See, every single power is just the outward expression of an inner virtue.
And that, right there, is the true divine secret of Hanuman. His strength, his ability to lift mountains, all his miracles, they're just the side effects. They're the byproducts of his incredible character. We don't just admire him for what he could do. We worship him for the love, the humility, and the unshakable devotion that defined who he was and who he still is. So I've got to ask you, after going through all of this, which one of these 7 secrets really surprised you the most? Was it the idea that he was cursed and forgot his own strength? Or maybe the beautiful, innocent story behind why his body is orange? I'd love to know. Let me know down in the comments. You know, learning these stories just reminds us that the greatest strength we can ever have is always built from the inside out. If this journey was as inspiring for you as it was for me, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have so many more stories like this to explore together. Jai Shri Ram.